Hello everyone, you are welcome to today's video on Python programming fundamentals. Today we'll be talking about for statement. For statement is one of the most powerful statements we have in virtually all programming languages, and we use them to repeat tasks over certain number of times based on what our requirements are. I need to cut straight into the code environment to show us exactly how powerful this is. Let's say we create a new Jupyter notebook file and I ask you to write a code for me to display just one number on the screen. It's very easy. You just come in here and say, oh, I can display number 1 for you. So easy. Number 1 is going to be displayed on the screen. And if I say, okay, that sounds easy. How about if I ask you to display 5 numbers on the screen, numbers 1 to 5? So you go in and say, okay, do this. And then you probably will come in and say print. This is number 3. This is number 2. This is number 4. And then you say 5. Now I'm giving you tasks to perform, but you still manage to get it done. If I say, okay, let's do one more thing. How about you do 10? You will now start feeling it that, oh, 10? Wow, that's a lot of stress. So, but then you still manage to get some modifications done here, and then you get the print statement written, and then the result will be on the screen. So you have 1 through 10 displayed. So if I ask you to do 50, 100, 1000, 50,000, 1 million, 5 million, 50 million, you will run literally mad, because that will not be a conceivable task for you to want to spend your life on. But it's so easy if you know how to do it using the right constructs in Python environment. So that's part of why we're here in this tutorial series. So if you wanted to implement the first one where you wrote 5 numbers 1 through 5 on the screen, I could have given you an opportunity to say for item in a particular range that you had in mind. So this is the range of 1 through 6, going step 1. We can just put everything on a simple line. We'll say print item, like this. And it prints all of the items for you. So we have repeated the same task 5 times. We have looped over the task 5 times. What this is saying here is, look through the range from 1 through 5. I need you to print every item in that range out for me. So it goes in, it's like you are looking at those figures in front of you, and you call the first figure, oh, I am 1. You print it, get off the queue. The next figure is 2. You print it, get off the queue, you go to the next figure, and so on till you get to the last figure, which in this case is 5. So if you knew this, then you will find it easy to execute the second part when I ask you to write first 10 numbers on the screen. No big deal, just change the construct and then you have figures 1 through 10. It's so easy. I'm using my for construct in this way. And if you wanted to do the other one, which looked complicated, it's okay, let's display up to 100. It will also display it on the screen for you. All the numbers are there and you can play around with it as much as you want. So what exactly is the intuition here? I need you to look at the construct. it will always be for every item in a particular object that you can loop through, that you can count its element. Once you get that, you need to start doing something. Do something. I don't know what you want to do. It depends on you, but the construct will always look as basic as this. And we can do so many powerful things. Instead of just defining sequence of numbers, we can loop through odd numbers. We can show multiples of any number. For instance, it's possible for you to come in here, make a copy of this, and say paste it here, and I'll go for multiple of 4. I'll start from 4. Yes, I can do something like this. I can keep everything on the same line and I can do this. So if I implement this, I'll see numbers that are multiples of 4. And within this indicated range, 4 will be the least and 100 will be the last. Another person can look at this and say, oh, if it is that easy, then I should be able to write codes that will start from 1, because I want 1 to be there, but it will be increasing in the sequence of 6. I'll jump 6 steps. So from 1 to 7, then 7 to 13, and so on and so forth. I think that should be the sequence. Yep. 1, 7, 13, 19, down to 100. But of course, 100 is included because we ended it at 101. So this is another way in which you can use a for statement. So there are all sort of variations to what you can do in the range here, but that's not where we want to focus our attention. Our attention is really in the area of looping through this construct. So let's say, for sake of argument, we have this list of numbers that our code generated for us, but we do not want to print anything beyond 37. I don't know why anybody will want to do that, but let's say it's a business requirement that as soon as we get to 37, we should discontinue printing. What we would then do is to say, we will modify this code and say, if item is 37, then break. Otherwise, keep printing. You can put it as otherwise print, or you just leave it in this format. So I can actually go in and say else. Print the number. So what this one would do is it will look through this range of numbers and it will keep checking, is the item 37? If no, it will print. But if the item is 37, then it will stop. It won't print anything else again for us. Even anything beyond 37 will not be printed. So let's run this and see the way it works. So you can see it printed the first number, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. But once it got to 37, it stopped printing because I indicated a command here that it should break the flow of that logic. That's a way of writing your for statement to say execution should stop after a particular condition is encountered. But how about a situation where you want the program to continue running, but it should skip certain numbers? So the number that I want to use again is 37. So I'm saying if the number is 37, then don't print, just skip it and go to the next number in the range and continue to print the rest of the numbers. So if I execute this, you will see that it printed up to 31. When it got to 37, it skipped it and then it continued on 43 down to the last number in that sequence, which is 97. It is possible for you to use your for statement in this way, but the key word that did the magic here is continue. It allows you to skip a particular step and then continue from the next number in that sequence. So it's almost like you have 10 people in front of you. When you get to the sixth person, you stop serving or rendering service to them. And once the sixth person gets off that queue, you continue rendering service to the rest of the people in the queue. That's the way the continue statement works here. In the case of break, you run out of resources, you are not serving anybody again, operation stops at that level. That is the way in which we can use our for statement with a condition written in if. And one thing you should realize there is I'm not just writing for statement as I did previously. Rather, I am combining my for statement with if statement. It is possible for us to have something like this done. And one other demo that I need to do quickly for us to see, just to illustrate the way for loop works, is you can have, let's say, days of the week. We create a list quickly and say Sunday, Monday. No, this should be a list. Where am I looking at? This is the end of the, okay. So we go back and say sun, mon, to wet, fry, and sat. Yeah. So this is a list. We're used to this. So it's possible for any programmer to loop through and then make some decisions on the basis of this. So I can say for item, it doesn't have to be item, you can call it anything. For X in days, do something. What do I want to do? I can say print, just to keep it basic, the day is something like this. So let's check what this is going to give us. And it says the day is Sunday, the day is Monday, the day is Tuesday down to Saturday. That could be a way in which you people want to use it. It will work for you. And it's also possible for people to use like a list comprehension. We haven't talked about that, but I can give you a quick demo of that. Let's say I look into this code and I want to find elements. I define another element and I say elements. And I'll create a list and say X for X in this, where X starts with, or we can say where X contains, I want to do, okay, let me see, where X, all of them have the same number of days, so I'm trying to identify something which is funny. Okay, so where X is equal to sat, or X is equal to sun. Yeah, so this is going to give me a list of elements, but this time around I will have two elements being displayed, not multiple elements like I had before. So this is X for X in days, where x is equal to Saturday or x is equal to Sunday. I doubt if this is going to work. So it's telling me this hasn't been closed. But then let's knock this off. We will come back to list comprehension in another demo, and then I will show us how this works. So I need you to pay attention to what the for loop construct does for us. It allows us to repeat the same task over multiple instances based on what we may be doing, and the conditions will be based on what you set on this side of the syntax, and it will do it for you. I can execute many more. It's just like the way people work with repeated processes. You are running payroll, you calculate the result for one user, you repeat that same logic for as many users as you have in the payroll. You can do the same thing, or you calculate result of one student, you repeat the task for as many students as you have in the student database. For statement helps you do this in a very quick way, and you will find it very useful in your day-to-day programming as Python programmer. Thanks a lot for being part of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which is going to extend the use of for statement, and then I will also talk about the next line of loop statement, which we call the while statement. I'll see you then. Bye for now.